Ooh, good morning. Look, we're making great progress. Great progress into Progreso. Progreso. Sorry, it's too early for wordplay. Look, it's Progreso in Mexico. I don't think I've ever been here before. And it's another day of excursion. I have to be downstairs in about a half an hour. But man, it's still dark, but I think it's going to lighten up pretty soon. Yeah, come with me as we progress into Progreso. All right, so very interesting thing going on here. It's 6:28 Progreso time, 7:28 ship time. We're sticking with ship time today. Fortunately, my watch carries 2 times. I turned off all the automatic settings on my phone and stuff like that, so I know exactly what ship time is. But I'm in the far side of the world lounge. That's where I have to meet for my excursion. And Progreso is interesting. I think regardless of what you're going to do in Progreso, you have to take some sort of shuttle to the city center. So that's what I'm anticipating. But we're supposed to be here at 7:50, so I'm about 20 minutes early. As you can see, though, we're almost docked in Progreso. So yeah, we waited out and then we excurred. All right, so the crowd has gathered. We're just waiting for word to head out.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 2 lines shoulder to shoulder.
All right, we're off the ship in Progreso, trying to find our excursion meeting point. And look, we got company. Can't see the name, but it's the Disney Magic. A little bit of a pause. I think we've had to stop so that Disney could deploy their gangways. Fix your sign, guys.
And don't break the line. But just remember, close your eyes. It's not time for shopping yet. Okay? Vámonos.
All right, getting close to the bus. Tons of buses out here.
We're the first group going to Merida, so we'll be able to enjoy most of the places pretty much just recently opening. Nobody's gonna be there, we won't see a crowd. Okay, now bad news, guys. No bad news, come on, you're on vacation. Yes, okay guys, literally the only downside of this tour is that isn't longer. Okay, name of this place, and the Mayans were talking in between each other, saying something like Mati Nati Katan, Mati Nati Katan. Last ice age made the water to come higher more than 300 feet, so technically we're still inland.
If I could, let me jump in here. This is Tony from the future. I took this excursion in Progreso, and I really didn't know much about Progreso or Merida, the city that we went to. And really, I didn't know much about the identity of Yucatan. So Yucatan is a state in Mexico. And it's funny, the tour guide said that, Yucatan is very similar in their mindset as Texas is in the United States. Almost like, how Texas sometimes feels like it could be a country unto itself, much as the state of Yucatan in Mexico. And Merida, a huge city that I didn't even know was so close to the port there in Progreso. Progreso really is only a port because of rope that was made from an agave plant that became hugely popular hundreds of years ago. And they were carting this rope days away from Progreso to get to a pier that had deeper water than what they had on the shores of Progreso. And then eventually the businessmen in the area, they bought a ranch called Rancho Progreso, and they built this huge pier out into the ocean to get to some deeper water. And that pier was made a second time even further so that they could have, I think, 40 feet worth of water for larger marine vessels to dock in, including cruise ships. So this excursion, again, I was unfamiliar as to what we were getting into, but it was a trip about an hour away from the cruise port to the capital city of Yucatan, Merida, city of both affluence and of history. We went in on the north side of the city, which is the affluent part of the city. And what's wild is so much money came into Merida at one point. The businessmen there, they'd been to Paris and they wanted to recreate the famous Champs-Élysées, the road that leads you right up to the Arc de Triomphe. So they had a big monument plan in Merida, the monument of the fatherland, or the monument of the flag, and they built a replica of the Champs-Élysées to get you there. So that was really the first stop on the tour. And then we went into more of the old city of Merida, it's a rich history of Mayan and then the conquest. That's what they called it, the conquest, when the Spaniards came to Mexico. So it's super fascinating. I got a lot of cool stuff to tell you, but I realized as I was watching some of this footage back, this bus ride doesn't give a lot of context. So yeah. Tony from the future with a little update as to what you're going to see coming up. And yeah, don't you love it when the bad news is there is no bad news? So yeah, here's the rest of the excursion.
And we were this close to become part of the US, but then Texas split it and Mexico was like, no, we're sorry, come back. Texan flag on one side, and you're gonna see the Yucatecan flag on the other side. Oh yes. We say we're like Texas because literally we were an independent country for a couple of years. Even the Texan independence was a big parade for us, okay? But I mean, it was just 2 years. We went back into Mexico. Once Texas split it out of Mexico, Mexico was like, please, Yucatan, come back. And we went back. Guys, how are we feeling? Good, okay. Sometimes this history can be a little bit long and complex. So remember, any questions or anything you want me to repeat, let me know. As I mentioned, we're getting into north side of Merida, okay? Pretty much the richest part, the best part.
So our first stop is here at the monument to the flag. Wow, what an impressive structure this is. The history of the country is laid out. Each of the states in Mexico are represented. It's hard to capture it all in just one image, but a really cool stop.
Mr. Marcelino will drop us off, and he has to go because he cannot park. Okay, can everybody hear me well? Yes, okay. This is our first stop.
Right, so we've toured around the central square. We've seen the cathedral. We've seen the very first house. We've seen a lot of stuff, but now we're at the restaurant, the designated meeting spot. I think I'm going to eat a little lunch and then go out and explore some more. Inside the very first house there with the big facade, there is a art museum that has Goya, paintings by Goya. It's free to the public, so I think I'm going to eat and then head back to the art museum. We've got 2 hours, but it's pretty fascinating. I had no idea what to expect when I came to Merida. It's such a big place, so pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at the menu. So I think they're accustomed to having English speakers. So you've got the dishes both in English and in Spanish. Quite a bit of choices here. All right, let's figure out something local. All right, so the appetizer has arrived. Gotta go back and look and see exactly what this is, but it's shrimp and corn. Almost feels like maybe a shrimp and grits type vibe. But yeah, we'll have to see. It comes with chips. Wish you could smell it. It smells incredible. The corn's good. It's like a cold corn. It's got white and yellow corn. Feels like some cheese. And here's the main. This is a queso relleno, stuffed cheese. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Oh yeah. Stuffed with pork and olives. I think there's some onions and egg. Looks pretty good. Serve it in a tortilla, so I'm gonna make a little tortilla bite here. Wow, it's really good.
Keep going down 62 streets.
All right, lunch was good. It's about 10 after 12. I have to be back at the bus at 1. So I am going to try to go check out the Goya paintings and take one more look at this square. Yeah, this is magnificent. So you've got the cathedral over here. Huge Mexican flag. Of course, there's the photo op, Merida. I actually think they're having a job fair here today, from what I understand. Oh wow, and the nativity scene that was there an hour ago is no longer there. All that remains is the elephant. How about that? Could be an interesting metaphor. You got to get that Jesus while you can. You never know. All right, we're gonna walk across to, I think it was the Museum de Gustav. Maybe that's, might be the wrong name, but gonna go over here, free museum. Try to add Goya to my list of artists that I've seen live and in person. Let's take a closer look at this facade. This is like original stone in Mexico. I think the stone used here came from Maya temples. After the conquistadors came and colonized Mexico, some of the early ones built this. So this is Casa de Montejo. Casa de Montejo. I don't know, I'm saying that wrong, but 16 generations of that family lived in this house, which is now a museum. The tour guide was talking about how it was kind of traditional for the colonial architects to have these figures of conquerors standing on the heads of their enemies. He was also saying that possibly the figure that's holding up the balcony there is the signature piece of the architect. And then the Goya thing is not always here. I think it leaves in March. So, yeah, let's go check it out. Casa de Montejo. I think that's it. So I think a big part of this museum is old furniture, but I'm gonna try to see the Goya first, just in case I have to leave. Pretty fascinating. So not paintings, but sketches. It looks like they're all done toward 1880, 1890. But yeah, fascinating stuff. So much detail in just little spaces with just black and white. I don't really know what's going on here, but it does look like, I don't know, it's pretty intense. It looks like a little, fire. Yeah, wow. I really am gonna have to look up some of these sketches. Look at this one, so cool. This owl lifting up, or it looks like the owl's on the branch, but the tree is two people. It's pretty cool. There's some more things to see here, but I want to make sure I get back on time. But yeah, nice free museum here in Merida. Very cool. Check Goya off the list. I still have 20 minutes. I'm going to see if I can go inside the cathedral. Wow, what a beautiful church. I've got about 10-15 minutes left. I'm gonna make my way back to the bus.
Two minutes less, 1 minute away from the parking lot. So how was your day, guys? I want to ask you. Good? Perfect. If you like my job and the driver's job, my name is Gerardo, or Jerry with a G, and he's Marcelino. Okay? If you didn't like our jobs, I'm Hugo and he's Pablo. Okay?
All right, sadly, the tour is over. I've gone all the way back through all of the shopping areas. This is interesting. This is the end of the longest pier in the world. So the water's not deep close to shore. So it's like a 5-mile pier, just certified by Guinness Book. That's what I was told. But it does give us the opportunity to spot just 2 ships. This is a great view. Let me show you this. Look at that. You got the front of the Margaritaville at Sea Islander and the aft of the Disney Magic. I love that cruise life. I love cruise ships. I love them in port. I love them at sea. This is a pretty nice port area too. You know, really, we went, deep into Mexico, at least I think maybe 20, 25 miles into Mexico. But there was stuff there in Progreso also, and then a lot of shopping and stuff here in the port area. So you don't have to go far if you don't want to, but the tour was really good.
Mom, you can get in it. All right, I'm hurrying.
All right, what is the, okay, here's the menagerie. Now we've got, I'm running out of room. Back on the cruise ship with a half an hour to spare. Here's one more quick look at the Disney Magic from this perspective, and Margaritaville at Sea Islander, Merida. I'm surprised how big a city that was. There's a lot to do there. Certainly warrants maybe another visit. But Progreso, pretty industrial, but pretty cool at the same time. Thanks again, Margaritaville at Sea, for hosting me on that excursion and on this cruise. I sure did enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed the adventure today. Subscribe for more. Hit the like button on the way out. It's Tony for La Lido. Look, until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.